Alright, here's the review for Transformers BotBots Series 1 Deuteroni. Deuteroni turns into a little slice of pepperoni pizza. He is in the Greaser Gang. And, as the pizza mode goes, I think you can clearly tell what it is, but as a pizza slice, it's really thick and it's not quite as pointy at the end, but it's got some nice detail there, and not just like the colors, but as you can see, there's actually kind of like a bumpy cheese texture on there, which is kind of hard to see on camera, but you can sort of see the way the light is reflecting off of it. And, I think that's nice. Just looking at the side here, on his arms, he has these little or his legs rather. Oh, and his arms. He's got these little molded like drips, but they're going the wrong direction. And at first I thought like, oh, maybe they just had the legs backwards, so I switched them. But then I noticed it has them on the arms too, which also has these chunks which are clearly, attached to the top of the pizza. So I'm not entirely sure what that's about. Maybe it's like splat, like you put the pizza down and then it splats back up a little bit. I think, yeah, I guess the detail on the legs could go either way, but since it does have those little drips here too, I think that is the way it's supposed to be, which is a little strange, but whatever, not the end of the world. To transform this guy, take his legs here and you rotate them out, and then you twist them around, and there's like just barely enough clearance to do that. Sometimes you'll just twist them off the ball joint, but they're not like difficult or anything to pop back on. I say that and then struggle putting it back on. There we go. Then the arms here, they're on like these little piston joints, I guess, and you pull them out and then you can rotate them around, which allows them to sort of get around this little pointy bit in the back. I think first I since got this guy, that's loosened up a little bit, but it used to be like every time I did that, like 50% of the time, the arm would just pull off. And then I'd have to reattach it. But yeah, there is Deuteroni in his robot mode. And he's a pretty cute little guy. First thing I want to mention is, so when I review larger Transformers or just like collect in general, one thing that I really have sort of like an issue with is the sort of like cheating where like, oh, Optimus Prime, most of the toys of Optimus Prime, the grill in the truck mode doesn't actually make up the grill in the robot mode. Like he's got a fake grill hidden somewhere in the transformation, and that sort of thing kind of drives me bonkers. I only sort of tolerate it for Optimus Prime because like literally every single Optimus Prime toy that looks like a G1 one does that, which is irritating, but whatever. But kind of surprisingly, this guy also does it. Like his chest here is clearly like the end of the pizza slice, but that's not where that ends up. And so he's just got this like little patch of pepperoni and cheese underneath him in his pizza mode. Like it's a BotBot, so I think I can tolerate that, but it is just sort of like a weird choice to me. So I'm not that crazy about it, but because at first when I was looking images of this guy, I was wondering how that got there, and then when I transformed him, I was like, oh, it's just fake. Whatever. But that's just kind of a tangent, but otherwise, articulation, his arms are on these ball joints here, so they can get pretty good amount of movement. They do kind of bump into this little like spike on the backpack there. And then the legs are also on ball joints, so you can do whatever you want to with them if you can get them to stand. But, as BotBots go, he's actually pretty poseable. You can do some neat things if you're willing to work with balancing him a little bit. But yeah, so, he's kind of a mixed bag. He's got a lot going on compared to most of the other BotBots, but also some things that I'm not too crazy about. So I'd say robot mode for me gets probably a 3 out of 5. Well, no, I'll give him a 4 out of 5. I think that like I'm really not a fan of the whole like chest plate cheating thing that he's got going on, but otherwise he does have a pretty neat little robot mode. Like I like his face. I love that he's got all that like articulation compared to most other BotBots. So yeah, I'll give him a 4 out of 5. Alt mode, I think, also is going to get a 4 out of 5 for me. just because like you can clearly tell what it is, but it is still sort of that chibi, not really realistically sized or shaped pizza slice. So it does kind of get some points off for that. And then transformation is normal, average, so 3 out of 5. So that's going to give DUDERONI an 11 out of 15, which makes him a 3-star BotBot. Again, kind of on that higher end of average, but still just kind of average in the end. He's got some good stuff going on, some not great stuff going on, but yeah, I think that's where I'd rank him. So there is Series 1. Whoop, see, that's what I'm talking about with the legs coming off. There's Series 1 DUDERONI.